does branding really matters?
So think of branding as visibility. I would classify the product in 3 bits. Okay, one is who, why, and how. Imagine if you're targeting a CEO of a company, your product may be solving one aspect of her business. But a CEO deals with so many other things, which means 100 other people are trying to vie for her attention.
Hello. Welcome to the third episode of Unsold Show/podcast. Santhu, it's 2024.
Hey, hi Gautham. Welcome back, our dear audience. And Gautham, wish you a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
And we wish everybody who's watching, listening to this conversation right now,
Yeah.
a very prosperous and a productive 2024.
Today's topic, Santhu.
Yeah.
How can you grow your brand visibility? Through content.
Right.
So it's my favorite actually.
Yeah.
Because all these years I've created content. It is my favorite. So this episode going to be excited. So let's begin.
Mm-hmm.
So my first question is, what is brand?
Yeah. Just before we talk about the brand, I just want to talk about. See, this is our third episode of the Unsold Show.
Yeah. /podcast.
And there's one very simple reason why we're doing it. We want to drive visibility to what we do. And we have been helping B2B SaaS businesses and clients since 2017 to help them drive awareness to their product and especially business, their brand. So the question is, if can content help in driving awareness about your brand awareness? For example, what happens is we tend to naturally focus on promoting our product. But can we promote our brand? What is a brand? Let's start there.
Yeah.
Okay. What is a brand?
What is a brand? Yeah.
So if you think of an office, your office, anybody's office, you open the door and there's a floor of people working. Okay. There is a sales team. There's a marketing team. There is a product team. There is an engineering team. There is a founders team. There is an HR team. So all these different people coalesce together. They come together with different identities, with different skill sets, with different expertise. They come together to create your product or product suite, a line of products. Now, when all these identities coalesce together, fuse together, mix together, it becomes an identity, your brand identity. I becomes we. This is brand identity. Now, identity is just one half of what a brand is. It is how this identity is perceived by people. That completes the second half. So what is your identity as a brand and how are you being perceived out in the open? This, in very simple terms, is what a brand is.
What are the ingredients that forms a brand?
So as I briefly touched upon how you open the door of an office and you see all the people working together, a brand is like one entity which is made up of different pieces. Your people, your people, your product, the way you communicate that you exist, the way you design your product, the way people find it so easy to solve a particular problem by using your product or your service. All of these are different ingredients which create this entity as a brand. It is not just the tangible bits, but it's also the intangible bits. Tangible bits are something which you can touch and feel and you can quantify, like your product. You have one product, you have 5 products. And this is for a specific type of company in a specific type of industry, and it solves a specific bunch of problems. The intangibles are, how do you communicate? How do you tell the world that you exist? How do you design your product? Why is your UI so simple, which eliminates all the clutter and makes it so simple, so easy for people to solve a problem or get things done in their day-to-day lives? And how do you craft your communication? Your website is just part of your communication strategy, your social channels, and not only the brand social channels. What is the language you speak when you meet people at events, at investment shows, investor meetings or trade shows, or even at an elevator of a conference? And how do you talk to people over the phone? How are your salespeople talking to prospective buyers? And
say there you put forth your brand first, not the product.
It's touch and go. We'll get to the segment where we talk about the difference between product
Yeah.
and the brand.
Hmm.
But it is quite natural for us to think of our product as our brand. But what a brand is not only what you sell, it is how you sell.
Okay.
That is what creates the experience of dealing with you. For example, if we talk about McDonald's is a brand. McVeggie is a product.
Product. Yeah.
So what do we say when we are hungry? We say, let's have a burger at McDonald's. Very few people say, let's have a McVeggie
yeah.
with double cheese with crushed lime on the
Yeah.
side when we go to McDonald's. Nobody says that.
Correct. When people are hungry, they say particular
Why?
burger. That's
Why?
it.
There is a reason.
Yeah.
Because the same theory applies for B2B as well, is because our brain wants to simplify things. Now, there are certain companies who become synonymous with their product. The product and the brand becomes one. For example,
Okay.
if I say CRM, people say, oh, Salesforce. If I say internet search, oh, Google. If I say camera, Sony Alpha. But it takes a long time with millions of customers using the product. It becomes so ubiquitous, then it becomes synonymous. But up until then, for everybody else, we have to earn our money by telling the world that we exist.
Yeah.
So we'll get to the section where we talk about the difference between the product and,
and
the
the
brand. But the ingredients are the people, the product, the way you communicate, the language you use, even on digital communication like emails, your website, your blog posts, even very simple social media posts on all your brand channels, but also anybody representing your brand. It can be the founder, it can be a business leader, a manager, or even a product person or an engineer. So whenever they chat about the product or the engineering aspects with anybody, it may not be in an open forum, but even within a closed forum, all that matters, because that is what they remember. When they talk to somebody, hey, I spoke to this Ravi guy and he quickly understood what we need, and he's on to something. So he'll help us out. This seamless effort to understand what your buyer wants, what your prospects wants, what your investor wants, all of this coalesce together. And these are the ingredients which create the brand.
Okay. So can we go to that topic? Difference between a product and the brand?
Yeah.
Because over the years, working with too many B2B softwares or brands, so they also get confused, or I also get confused what we have to sell. If you have to sell the brand or if you have to sell the n number of products they have created, we don't know yet, because they also are very in the skeptical mind. What should I do?
I mean, I would say they're not confused as such, but it is a tendency to sell our product. So a product is a means to an end.
Okay.
For example, a screwdriver helps you screw things and join things together. It's a means to an end. But Philips is the brand which is the most popular screwdriver type in the world. So product will help people solve a particular thing or get something done. A brand is how. A product is what you sell. The brand is how you do it. So I would classify the product as in 3 bits. Okay, one is who, why, and how. We naturally tend to focus on how. We want to tell the world that, look, this is how you do it with my product. This is how you solve this with my product. But it is also the who. Who in the sense, who are you building this for? Who are you targeting this? Your prospective buyer. And who built this? You, your expertise, your engineers, your product people, your product designers. Who is the people? And then we come to why. What is so special about your product? If there is competition, why are you so special? This why aspect. And we'll get to another interesting bit of why now.
Why now? Yeah.
We'll get to that later. But who, why, And then comes how. Oh, you know what? My product is so simple. And while competition exists, this is exactly why we are different. And then comes the how. Okay, now I'll show you the features and the benefits, etc., etc. So the who and the why part is the brand. And how, that's the technical stuff.
Yeah. See,
Be
it
it
finally
your,
goes to the product only.
yeah, so either you are a consultant and the product is your service. Okay, you may use existing tools, but you consult and service a particular this thing, or you have your own product. But product is just a means to an end. It doesn't begin with your product. It begins with a person who wants to solve a particular problem. And then these people and you, if you are the founder, you gather up and build this product. And then you have enough validation and say, you know what, there is a need for such a product. Then I can price it in a certain way. And then there is a business. And then there are people behind the business. And then the more you talk to the market, the more you understand. So the who, the why, and the how. The how is the product, the who and the why is the brand. And this is oversimplified sort of perception about the brand. There's more nuance. There may be more nuance to the brand, but at a very simple fundamental level, this is how I see it.
Why branding matters? The people who are watching our show, also after hearing this, they really think, does branding really matters? Why will it matter?
It does. So think of branding as visibility.
Okay. Identity.
Yeah. So do people know that you exist? Your business exists. Your product exists. If people don't know, then how will they even spot you, talk to you, and do business with you? So if they don't know your brand exists, they don't know your product exists.
Okay.
Or even if they don't know your product exists, how will you even do business with them? So building a brand probably is what helps you set yourself apart from your direct competitors, but also people who are vying for the attention of your buyer. Imagine if you're targeting a CEO of a company, your product may be solving one aspect of her business, but a CEO deals with so many other things, which means 100 other people are trying to vie for her attention. So you're not only competing with your direct competitors who have lookalike products, but anybody who's trying to grab your prospective buyer's attention is a competitor. So how do you stand out? By telling them how beautiful, how amazing your product is and why this is the best in the world. The next question is why? Who are you? So that is where the brand comes, right? So your identity, build your identity and make sure that people perceive you in the way you want them to perceive you.
Correct. See, before
naturally the
anybody
product.
using your product, people will search what is your value in the market.
More than that, I would say the value comes later. I would say to even know that you exist. For example, it can be plain Google search, or it can be an introduction from somebody while at a conference who might say, "Hey, Raghu, do you know that this company solved this problem by using this product? Did you know that? I mean, this guy was talking about it the last time. What are you doing about it?" No, we have people
Correct.
to solve that. That's fine. So this introduction, either the prospective buyer discovers your brand or you go to them. Both of them should happen.
Correct.
And then suddenly there is a spark. They know that you exist, but that is not enough. And then there are many things which you can do through content strategy and activities to sell yourself, your brand, and then comes your product naturally. Yes. So brand building matters.
Matters. Okay. So who can build your brand?
A brand is built by the people
Okay.
who are the part of this company, or part of this entity, right from the founders to everybody, all the employees.
Okay.
So
Not
we
only
always-
the content marketing guys.
No, I would say yes, they are important because they are facilitators.
Okay.
That role can be taken up by a properly trained, experienced team or an individual, but still their limitation is they're limited to facilitating things. They can sort of create the message, take the actual message, sort of refurbish it, polish it a little bit, put it in different formats, give it a spin, give it a style, and they can distribute it. But what is being said and who is saying it, that is
Matters the
yeah,
most.
that is the thing. So if we look at a piece of meat, the bone is probably the marketing team. That's the structure. It facilitates, and then on top of it is the meat. If you just serve bones to people, we won't eat it until we are all puppies and we love, and then we'll end up loving bones. But otherwise, it's the meat. What? So yeah. So it starts from the leaders of the company, because they set the tone, the personality of the brand. And then obviously the employees. So every leader, for example, somebody representing the engineering team, the product team, and all these people put together, their voices as a collective can go on the brand page. Individually, they can go on their individual social channels. So all of them, and naturally your product,
Okay.
how beautifully it is designed, how easy
Okay.
is it to buy and integrate with their tech stack, and how easy it is for employees to just learn your product in such a short time. All of this helps create and influence that brand.
These people within your company build the brand.
Yeah.
But what are the activities that help you build your brand?
So just to go back a few minutes ago, we talked about the three aspects of branding: the who, the why, and the how.
How? Yeah.
How is product,
Yeah.
and the who and the why is the brand building part of it. So the more attention we pay to the buyer, to the industry, to the market, and the more attention we pay to our paying customers, to understand, are they using the product to the maximum level, or has the market moved on? Do I have to update my product? All of this, whenever we interact with the market, the people from the industry or people within our customer companies, we have to make sure that we capture these conversations in a way that we start humanizing communication.
Okay.
The tragedy of humanizing marketing unfortunately stops at a junction where we say, okay, we have to create an ideal customer profile. Okay, we say, okay, CFO. We create an ideal profile and say, okay, how old is a CFO? Between 30 and 45. He or she has this personality. He or she spends more time consuming content here and not there, etc., etc. So we create this identity for us as a North Star. But that is where it stops.
Okay.
But there are companies who pay such close attention to people in the industry, people in the market, their target personas, the people, and also the customers, and also the actual users, end users. But rarely do they take all of this and give it a font, give it design, give it style, and communicate this out to the world through their digital communication, be it a website, a video, audio, or it can be just a simple social media post, or any of these formats. So content activities like any interview you do with a prospective buyer or an industry influencer, interviews you do with your customers or end users, all of that have to be captured, because that is what builds a brand. Naturally, you add your product marketing there as well. Talk about the upcoming features, why you're building it, and when it will be launched, etc. How your existing 3 features are the best, and you have great reviews on G2 or Capterra. All that is fine. But who is buying your product at the end of the day? It's the person at the other end. And who is she or he paying attention to? People in the industry. And the moment you've sold your product to somebody, are the leaders benefiting from the product? Which means, are the users using it properly? All of this matters. All of this helps build a brand. So can we capture all these stories and give it a beautiful style and form? Today it is video and audio. Tomorrow it may be something else.
Yeah.
10 years ago
You
it
don't
used
know.
to be blogs.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter what the format, can we tell this story or these stories to the world? That is what helps us build a brand. Yes, these are some of the things. So you can you can interview people through, you can send them 3 questions or 5 questions on email, they respond. Or you can just ring them on your phone and say, can I ask you 3 questions? And I want to create content out of this. You do it. If people are bold, they are not camera shy, invite them on a simple Google Meet call or a Zoom call, record the conversation, put it. Or you have a studio setup and people want to get on your show and talk about it, do it.
Yeah.
So the format can be anything, but can you capture stories and put it, tell it to the world? Yeah, that is what helps you.
To
build
add
brand
to
awareness.
this, if the founder don't have the interest, then nothing will work here.
Yes and no. I would say sometimes,
Because he has to push his team, because his team cannot do everything.
right?
He has to push his team. He should have this interest of creating videos, creating audios, or putting him in front of the camera, and he has to talk about his brand or his product.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't have any interest over this,
Mhm.
then no use of this, all the activities done.
That is a very, I would say, this a very limited way of looking at it. Okay, let me give you an example of a movie set. A director can write the story, can help create the screenplay. The director may not write the story, but at least take a story written by herself or himself or somebody else, and then get a screenplay done, and then give it a structure. Now, sometimes the director can become the actor in the movie. 99% of the times, he or she will not.
Will not. Yeah.
But it is up to the director to choose the right people to tell his story. They are the actors. Sometimes in the B2B SaaS scenario, the founder might be the builder of the product, which means his or her focus, 90% of their focus go on building and maintaining the product. So where is time? Or the founder may have a lot of time and may feel they are not articulate enough. They may be camera shy and they may say, I have opinion, but I don't know if it'll be validated, it'll be accepted in the right tone. But right then is when the leader has to choose somebody as the voice of the company. That can be the CMO, it can be a marketing
Yeah,
manager,
it can be anybody, but the founder should have an interest towards it.
Interest, yes, obviously. I think that every founder does. The point is about, can I be the face of my company
Yeah.
out in the open? Now that is a tricky part, and we'll warm up to it. See, as Indians, we are not so natural in front of the camera.
In front of the
But
camera, yeah.
the present generation and the future generations will be, because with people creating reels and
Yeah,
YouTube videos and
exactly.
everything, we are not so camera shy
Yeah,
after
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
But that is the younger generation. But for us, the millennials and a little older, will take time. Some may not break this barrier at all, but they have to be smart enough to spot and identify a person within the company who can become the face and the voice of the company. The message should go out. See, at the end of the day, it is not only audio or video. The communication of the message can be sent through writing as well.
Exactly. Mails.
So in that case, the founder can focus on writing 1 or 2 pieces of opinion pieces on social media, or just 1 every week. At the end of the day, your personality as a founder rubs onto your brand. The earliest stage of your company, the more embryonic you are, the more younger your company is, your personality drives your brand. Back then, in that scenario, you have to make sure that that your opinions, your messages, your perception is told to the world. And then what happens as you grow, as you add more products, or as you add, your team becomes bigger, as you add more customers, then the brand takes the lead and you become a part of the brand. But in the early stages, you are the whole, and so you're the director, producer, hero, heroine. Sometimes you are the audience till you sign up the first customer.
Exactly.
And then slowly the tilt happens.
Yeah.
The focus will shift. But the founder or the leader is still part of the brand.
Brand. Yeah. So my final question: what is the impact?
The impact of a brand.
Yeah.
See, the impact at the end of the day, a founder wants to know whatever money or resources being invested on in this scenario to build brand visibility. Will it actually matter at the end of the day? Will it affect my revenue? Will it affect my bottom line? In simple terms, by now, I think the audience would have figured out that yes, because the world should know that you exist. If they don't know, they don't discover you. If they don't discover you, or you won't reach them. If they don't know who you are, they don't know what you sell, and you cannot make business and you cannot earn money.
Correct.
So yes, brand visibility helps. And also brand visibility, this branding entity is something which may help you set yourself apart from your competition.
You might be in first in line.
Imagine a CEO opens her laptop in the morning.
Okay.
Hundreds of emails, or at
Okay.
least on a weekly basis, if not a daily basis.
Okay.
And LinkedIn direct messages, cold calls. All of these are trying to bombard the person in an effort to sell something.
Yeah.
Now, your brand communication may be completely different. You say, you know what? I don't want to be like that. I don't want to sell with every communication. I just want to build relationships. I just want to say hi whenever I meet somebody. If at all I come across somebody at an event, we exchange business cards or numbers. The next thing I do is not, here is my product link, can you check it out? I think it will solve one of your problems. No. Just say, okay, can we have a chat about it? There's something the cool and stupid we do. We record our conversations as a podcast. Can you be part of it? It'll be nice. Because the first conversation I had with you was very interesting. I think you can build to this. I think you have so much valuable things to say. You massage their ego. And maybe they say yes, maybe they say no.
No, yeah.
Build a relationship first. Now this can be your brand.
Exactly.
If you do it, and if your other founders do it, if your sales guys do it, and everybody starts doing it, and then they say, you know what, this company takes the softer approach.
Yeah.
That becomes your brand, part of your brand identity. So yes, definitely. Brand visibility, or how you create your brand and how your audience perceive your brand, has a direct impact on your bottom line.
Okay, on that note, stay tuned, guys. Bye.